everybody. I'm here with Jason Hodges. He is our Tennessee State Representative of House District 67. I'd like to thank 214 Media for hosting this event today and doing it here in their studio. If you have any business needs, they will be more than glad to help you. Be sure and look them up and see what all they provide. So good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, enjoy it.
I just wanted to talk to you this morning about kind of where we're at right now.
Correct.
You know, it's been a really kind of confusing time, and lots has happened, and so much information comes out. It's kind of hard to know what to believe and what not to believe. You know.
Yeah, and the information's changing every day as well, and
right.
So a lot of it is that we've seen is not necessarily people getting the wrong information. Mm-hmm. It's just when information is changing so quickly, changing every 24 hours, new information's coming out, and we need to make sure that everybody's receiving that.
Yeah, right. And what's really I've heard a lot of questions about is small businesses, mm-hmm. being concerned about the future and what's going on. And I'm wondering, has the state got a plan? Are they working on a plan to possibly help small businesses in Tennessee?
So we had an amendment before we left session for recess last time. Unfortunately, it failed to help small businesses. Mm-hmm. I think when we go back in there June the 1st, that'll be a primary concern, mm-hmm. and we'll have to work on that. We know how important small businesses are to our communities. They're really the backbone of our communities, and so we need to ensure that we're taking care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there, so during this, we've seen that there are some gaps in the system, in services. And now that we're aware and we've learned about these gaps, are there things that we're going to put in place going forward as far as our homeless, kid meals, even like essential county and city services?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think the biggest lesson, hopefully, was how vital our nonprofits are, right? And so.
Well, I do tend to think that,
yeah. Yeah, and so every year, I think governments make decisions, whether it's local or the state or the federal, on what nonprofits to give money to. Mm-hmm. So they can do their work, and sometimes that can be controversial. Sure. But remember that a nonprofit is going to provide these services much cheaper than government's going to be able to, and I think this pandemic has really showed us how much we depend on these nonprofits. So.
Absolutely, and you know, here locally, we're so blessed to begin with because our nonprofits are already so collaborative and work so mm-hmm. well together that I think our nonprofits really shined during this time, just jumping right in and doing whatever needed to be done, and working with our local government to make that happen as well. So we're lucky. Other areas, you know, they really had to scramble to try to put that collaboration in place, and we already had it.
And so, I think it shows by our numbers. I mean, mm-hmm. if you look at a lot of the counties that surround us that are far less populated, and you look at the outbreak there compared to ours, we're doing far better. And I do think that nonprofits had a big hand in that. So thank you.
Yeah. And so unemployment, you know, that's a tough one. Mm-hmm. You know, so many people are out there and they don't have a job. They don't have a job, and they don't. They're having trouble getting unemployment, and they're having trouble really being able to access the site because it goes down a lot. And then even once they get the paperwork in, you're just kind of waiting to see what happens, and bills are coming in, and that can be really scary.
Yeah. And what I can tell you is my office spends most of our time on the phone with DOL right now because
wow.
we genuinely have people that still after 7 weeks have not received a check. And you know, that's tough. It's hard for most Americans to to survive 7 weeks without a check. And so we've got to ensure that those checks are being sent out. There's no doubt DOL has been overburdened, right? You're talking about a system that was designed to deal with 2,000 unemployment claims a week that's dealing with 100,000 unemployment claims a week with new regulations. Now the eligibility requirements change. So a lot of that's tough. But at the same time, it's tough when somebody doesn't have a check for 7 weeks. And so I would always encourage anyone that still has not gotten a check or needs help with unemployment, call my office. Call my office, email me, call my cell phone if you need to. If you want to talk to me directly, that's 931-980-9630. Feel free to call me if you're still struggling getting your unemployment.
And so I would have two things for you. One, thanks for mentioning, none of us have been alive during a pandemic. Not in the United States. I mean, they've certainly had them in other countries. I've never worked a pandemic. So we really have to be sure to give people grace and understand a lot of people had to scramble. Mm-hmm. A lot of people ended up with triple the amount of work that they usually have, and like you said, with new regulations. And we just have to be sure that we're giving people grace and understanding. But yes, absolutely. If your rent is due or you need to buy groceries, it's a scary time. Mm-hmm. And if you need groceries, Urban Ministries is giving out food boxes every Thursday from 2 to 7, and it's a drive-through service. And even if it won't be all your groceries, it will certainly supplement what you have. So I want to encourage people to
the work nonprofits are doing here in Clarksville. It's amazing.
And tomorrow we have the shower truck.
Yep.
So that's really exciting. We've had a really good response with the shower trucks and being able to provide that for our homeless friends that are in need right now. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you have questions, please put them in the comments, and if Jason and I don't get to them, we will get to them eventually. So while we're talking, if we run out of time, your questions will be answered. So put all your questions in the comments, and of course, any of you know you can always reach out to me if you need to. I'd like to talk about some good stuff too. So we have had a lot of success stories. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of resiliency in our community. Can you tell me about some of the good stories?
Sure, and we kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday, mm-hmm. me and you did, but we can go back to the nonprofits and the way they've worked together, right? And mm-hmm. I mean, I've been on a conference call with you guys as you're collaborating, working together, trying to make sure that resources that people desperately need are put out there. And I really think that shows a strength in our community.
Yeah.
Our small businesses that have stepped up, Old Glory, as we talked about, making hand sanitizer during the beginning of this pandemic. It just shows how when we work together, when there was the kind of a need for leadership, our two mayors working together, stepping up and working together. Our school system continuing to provide food to the children of the district. I mean, all those things, it really shows who we are as a community. And I think it shows why we've done so well during this pandemic.
Yeah, it really does, and I actually forgot to ask you something about unemployment.
Okay.
So I've had this question more than once, mm-hmm. even though it sounds like a fairly specific thing. So if you go back to work, and even though you're back at work because of social distancing, because of safety, all of those kind of things, you're getting less hours, or you're only able to do a very few clients throughout the mm-hmm. entire day. If you're back to work, but you're not making the money you were making, are you able to apply for unemployment?
Yeah, if you're underemployed, you are able to apply for unemployment. And the rule that my office generally gives people is this: if you question whether you're eligible, go ahead and apply. Mm. Let's just see where you're at. But yeah, underemployed, getting your hours cut, that you would be eligible, and I highly encourage you to apply.
So just to break this down, so I'm not getting unemployment. I didn't apply. I don't qualify because we've been working all the time. But so if you apply for unemployment, that's the regular state unemployment. Do you have to file separately for the federal part?
No, that's all part of the same application, and there's actually different qualifications. So there's a lot that you might not qualify for the state unemployment, but you can still receive the federal $600. And so one example would be if you're in a high-risk pool and your employers have started bringing people back, and you feel it's unsafe to come back, while the state unemployment may not continue paying you, the federal unemployment will continue as of now. So.
Oh. Do you know, I know your state, not federal, but do you know how long that will go on? Is it based on how the virus goes, that kind of thing? There's so many things that are just based on the numbers of the virus at a federal level, at a state level, at a county level.
I think, this can be frustrating to a lot of people, but there's more unanswered questions than there are answered questions, because this is new. And so I think that leaders at every level, whether it be local, state, or federal, are trying to come up with these things as we go. And hindsight, we'll be able to look back and see all the things that we could have done better. But right now, we need to be focused on doing everything we can to make sure people are taken care of.
But isn't that true with anything? I mean, you anything you start and you haven't done before, you're going to learn better every time you do it. So you try it. Oh wow, okay, wait, we could have done this, we could have done that, and that would have been better. And learn from that and do better the next time.
Absolutely.
We were talking earlier about the Austin Peay graduation. So what are graduations looking like right now?
So I think Austin Peay's going to have their virtual graduation tomorrow.
Okay.
And congratulations to all those students. I know it's probably tough. You work hard to get that degree, and I think it's important for most students to be able to walk and grab that diploma in front of their families. And unfortunately, we're just, they're not necessarily going to be able to do that in this time. But that doesn't lessen their accomplishment. And so congratulations to them. The same way with high school graduations, I think they do plan on doing those in the summer, and hopefully they'll be able to. And so.
Yeah, graduation, I had told you earlier, I dropped out of high school when I was young. I was not the brightest bulb on the tree. I was in trouble a lot, and I dropped out of high school. And when I went to college, I probably took it more serious than I needed to. Too hard on myself, try too much, work too hard. But after the 6 years was over and it was time to graduate and walk the stage, that was such an amazing moment, And so, and I know watching Corey Thomas and Jacob walk the stage, and Fletcher too, that was so special. So I hate that they're missing out on that, but.
And for a lot of us, it might not seem that important. A lot of this might not seem important because we have the opportunity to do it, and I think when you don't, that's when you probably realize that it does mean something to you. I mean, you worked hard to get there, and you want to have that moment of celebration.
And thank you. That was the point I was trying to make, was that I didn't. So I think it was such a big deal when I did. I know Brett had. You have your graduation day and you go through the whole thing at Austin Peay, and to get pictures and do all this other stuff. And he talked me into buying a ring. I'm like, I am 40-something years old. I'm not going to buy a graduate ring. I was so glad I did, and it means so much to me because I did. So there are things that they can be doing. You're
not wearing it, though.
Rings, I am. See?
From
Austin Peay,
There we go.
See? And I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook where parents are doing all these neat things to make it still be special for them.
The drive-bys. And
the drive-bys.
They're cute, aren't they?
That is so cute,
Yes.
yes. And, I know school systems are near and dear to your heart.
Sure.
I know that's very special to you. So what do we know what next year will look like? I know everything's based on the virus, of course, and how things unfold.
I think if we're still at social distancing, come August, it is going to be quite, and I think that's something we're going to have to address when we get back into session, that the school year might look different. But there's so many things to address there. If kids aren't going to school every day, that means our parents going to be able to go to work every day, and all those questions start to arise of how do you, none of these scenarios are easy,
right?
But if we're still at a era where we have to social distance, then obviously we can't pack 1,500 kids, 1,600 kids into school.
Right.
And so, how that looks, whether you do flex schedules or something different. I mean, we don't know. I think we're in the process of working on that right now as a just in case. It's better to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best.
Expect the best, prepare for the worst. Absolutely.
Well,
I know that I have had to delve into technology, and most of the people who follow our Facebook have felt the results of me trying out technology with videos and whatnot. But I've been so impressed with how creative people have been.
Sure.
People are playing games through these online meet rooms with family members that they can't be in contact with. I mean, they have really, Team Red, White, and Blue has been writing letters to this Tennessee State Veterans Home, because usually they do a game night, and domino night is a serious venture. They ain't playing about the dominoes, but they've been writing letters just so that they're staying in contact, and that those veterans know that they're still thinking about them. And a lot of people were surprised when our veterans home shut down as quick as it did and as strictly as it did. But, we've been blessed that that's what they did.
Absolutely. And I think we see that. A lot of unfortunate things have happened at other nursing homes. And so we're very happy that they did what they did and have kept our elderly veterans safe.
I didn't even mention the fact that you're a veteran.
Yeah.
That's right. And you were in the Marines. We like him anyway. Yes, I know you and Stacy Hopwood. In our Marine Corps League. Matter of fact, maybe that was the first place I met you was at the Marine Corps Ball.
I think it was. Here in Clarksville, yeah.
Yes. Okay, yes. Could you answer that? It says, unemployment, is there a way to expedite benefit requests? What can people do?
Unfortunately, it's just moving slow right now, and I think that the best way to move it a little faster is to contact your legislator and let them make that legislative request. And so I'd encourage you, whether you're in my district or not, it doesn't matter to me. If you contact me, I'll try to push that through DOL as quickly as possible. Now, it's still taking us a few days. It's been taking us generally on average about a week, but that's a better time frame than not contacting us most of the time. So I would highly recommend giving me a call or sending me an email.
Can you give your information, your email and your phone number? Yeah. I will put his phone number and email in the comments so that you'll have it. And then later, Gary and Annabelle, you can't see them, they're over there, but they will, when they download this and fix stuff and put it back on Facebook, they can add that Jason's contact information if you need to reach out to him. Can you give that again, please?
I can. So my email is rep.jason.hodges, Hodges, at capital with an O, CAPITOL, .tn.ws. .gov, so you'll definitely want to put that.
Yeah, that's a whole lot.
I think they almost make them so long that it makes it hard for people
And
to
lots of
contact
dots.
us. Yeah, lots of dots. And then the best way to reach our office right now is really through my cell phone. So just call me at 931-980-9630.
And then you have your office number.
Oh yeah, we do have the office number, 615-741-2043.
That's a good question. What about parents not being able to work? Can they can't work because their kids are home? Is that what you mean? And they can't take them to daycare? Yes. Can they continue to collect unemployment? And this goes to a list that you sent me of those that are providing care for essential workers,
Yep.
correct?
Correct.
I will make sure, is that list still valid? Do
It
you
is.
know? Okay. I will make sure that a list is posted. Jason has already sent us a list of those people that are offering daycare for essential workers.
Yep. And as far as to answer the question directly, it just varies. So I would say go ahead and apply. But you'll probably be eligible for the federal dollars, but maybe not the state dollars. But I would say you're more than likely going to be eligible for the federal dollars.
Well, you know, like Kimberly Wiggins says about the disabled veterans property tax, apply.
Yeah, exactly.
Apply. If you're denied,
Yep.
you're denied.
If you're denied, you're denied, but
If you don't apply, you'll never know the answer to that, right? Well, I really appreciate you coming today. I know y'all are really busy right now, and it's
Glad to
just, I think it's important for people to see a trusted face and just kind of know what's going on and what they can do, and the fact that you've made it open for people to contact you about their unemployment, because that really is a scary thing for
It
folks.
is, absolutely.
You know.
We've heard, there's so many sad stories out there right now of people that are struggling, and again, 7 weeks without a paycheck can destroy a family. I mean, it can hurt.
And then you have a lot of really great stories like from Urban Ministries where they're coming and they're getting boxes and they're so excited, to see those wonderful boxes of food.
Yeah.
And they're nice boxes. They're big boxes of food. And I've just seen so many wonderful things. And like you said, I love to see businesses like pivot.
Yeah.
I mean, they just went on an immediate pivot. Okay, so how are we going to make this work? And that's what they did. And it's just absolutely been amazing. And the fact that businesses, it can be concerning right now for them. And
Sure,
yet they're
absolutely.
still giving and they're still finding ways to help and be part of the community. So honestly, I feel like our community is so good at coming together. And I really believe that if we can come together, we can tackle any challenge. We can survive anything and be better for it from the lessons that we learned.
Yep.
So thank you so much, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate
Yep.
you.
And if you have anybody with other questions,
I will.
just let me know, and
Yeah.
I'll get you the answers.
And keep adding those questions to the comments because they will be answered.